Mmm. Man, the stir fry is good. Mmm. Man, I love walks. Oh. Oh. Hi there. You caught me while I was eating. So. Oops. 1 second. Oh, wow. Talk about an intro back to YouTube after being gone for 2.5 months. So, yeah, this video should have been out a very long time ago, but I encountered a really annoying but funny error in my editor. So, there's a typewriter effect you can put on text, and I'll be showing it up on screen now if you see it, and I can make it work. And I wanted to make that text as the intro to the video, but, as it turns out, that crashes the entire render. So, yeah. And I didn't know that for 2 months. Almost 2.5 months now. Yeah, so I haven't been working on this video for 2.5 months. And now that I know what the error is, I'm basically rushing to get it out. Don't worry, the quality of the video is not going to decline at all. I'm still going to take time with it. But I wanted to put this at the beginning of the video because you should know why I've been gone for so long, not making any content. I hope you stick around for more, because this error was genuinely 1 in 1,000, and I had no clue this was happening. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I'm going to get back to eating the stir-fry before it gets cold. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And cue intro. What happens when the most powerful organization in the world turns on humanity? SCP-5K is here to answer that question. Written by Tanhani and brought to life by Afra Interactive, SCP-5K is an alpha build currently in 0.16. I've played 5K for a while, supporting it by buying their Omni Edition DLC package, and watching as the game has grown through the years. I'll be giving you my praises as a near 10-year-long SCP fan, my critiques with a critical eye, and my honest thoughts as a final review. We'll be going over all the content within 5K, including their current stories, raid missions, and firing range. However, the multiplayer will not be covered. To begin, I'll start with my Navy rating scale of games and their overall enjoyment. To me, SCP-5K is a 4/5, however there are some caveats. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way. The game isn't optimized. Like most modern games, there's still a lot of work to do in the optimization and frame rates. I run on medium settings with balanced DLSS choice. Even with these options, the game still lags and has sudden frame drops. The biggest offender of lag, funny enough, is the flashlight. Whether it be your helmet mounted one or an attachment on your gun, flashlights cause a lot of lag for a reason I'm still trying to pin down. Second on this list are bugs. There are still quite a few bugs in the game, biggest of which to me is no clipping. What you're seeing now is my friend just disappearing into the void, randomly having to change character loadouts to be able to play again. Actually, people, so I'm just putting them out of their misery.
I managed to do the impossible because of the game. You're on your own, buddy. Nice. I changed my loadout and it resetted me.
Oh, that's good. Now, into the good stuff. To start, the models look gorgeous. I could gush over the models day and night, and I don't know anything about modeling. SCP, GOC, UIU, SCP anomalies, you name it, and it looks great. The 173 has a great skeleton and the makeover from the original picture that we all knew and loved. The new SCP-610s are also stellar, their fleshy exteriors convulsing and pulsing as they pump blood through themselves. Though, what good is a bunch of monsters without any guns to shoot them with? The guns and how they're modeled in SCP-5K are probably the most satisfying part of the game to me, with a lot of work and dedication going into these models, sounds, and animations. Guns in this game are just so smooth, with pistols feeling like actual pistols and not hand cannons or anemic pea shooters, rifles and shotguns having sustained, controllable fire rates and recoils, and shotguns actually have range, unlike some video games, and large caliber weapons having big booming shockwaves that will just make you shiver from how good they sound. Personally to me, the AUG A3 and the Beretta M9A3 are my favorite weapons to run. The Beretta has always been my favorite pistol, and you'll see a couple of references to that throughout the video. The AUG A3 is also probably my only favorite bullpup design, actually looking very nice, and, well, the Austrians don't ever miss. It's nice to have an implementation of guns like this in 5K, and I assure you that no matter which gun you use, or any attachments you'll put on these guns, you'll end up loving them all the more. I also want to talk about environments and environmental storytelling throughout the game, as it's really a major plot point that a lot of people can either miss or possibly even disregard. While I don't want to hamper down on the intelligence of players because it's not my place to decide, people can actually miss environmental storytelling. It's a major part of conveying basically a message or a story into your game, and it's especially prevalent in SCP-5K because a lot of your lore is given through either data entries that are small readables or through Crow, who talks to you over the radio whenever you find points to bring up. Not a lot of it is from actual interactable dialogue, and that should actually be commended, because no matter where you go within SCP-5K, you can really understand the message that everything's going to shit. You have destroyed hallways in the entry sector whenever you're evading SCP-173 for the first time. You've got these boxes that are blocking hallways, the cabinets and shelves that are pushed over, only allowing you to crouch through them. Blood all over the walls. You have dead guards, dead UIU, dead everyone, really. Everyone around you has died. The only people that are moving are undead, infected by some SCP number I'll be putting up on screen because I can't remember it currently when I'm recording this. There's just so much here, and even later on, you have logistics where everything's on fire. Either the Foundation was trying to block off a segment of building to try and make sure the fledglings couldn't get in, or maybe even knowing that fire works on them. And maybe even SCP-610. You don't know. This is a biological containment facility. Maybe they had a sample of 610. And since fire works so well in 610 from the clips you saw in Antarctica, maybe they knew that fire would work, so they blocked off areas catching them on fire. And of course, some areas have just happened to be caught on fire. You have the transportation little area in that hallway, and it's just caught on fire because there's sparks everywhere. And there's oil, and there's gas, and things just catch on fire because the entire facility is being destroyed from the inside out. You have SCP-3199, the humans refuted, the chickens as we like to call them in the community, that are just infecting the logistics sector. You have SCP-7528, Epitomedia, or known as the Projection, who is completely taking over the entire lounge and theater section of Chapter 2. And is tormenting you for the entire time as you try and find a way around him. And you even have SCP-7566, known as the Door Squid, who loves hiding in hallways, as you'll see later on in the video, and ambushing you at the perfect time. There's all of these small but important environmental storytelling features that can really add on to the story of what you're going through. Because while this may be a first-person shooter, there is such a big importance of disarray and chaos, because this is the end of the world, and even though the people orchestrating the destruction should be in control, they're not. I thought I should include this because I don't want to bring it up later on. I'd bring it up constantly if I did. I would always say something about the environment. And I may even do it because there are some parts I just can't elaborate on in this little segment. This would be the best way I could do it. A little segment here that gave you a general idea of the environment and how it's conveyed. With that out of the way, let's get on to our first chapter in the video, the raid on Area-12. We arrive at an unknown location within Area-12, though by the surrounding environment immediately shown to us we can assume these were intelligence stations used for warfare. There are multiple items sitting all around us, with filing cabinets and radio stations filling the room. We get accustomed to our flashlight, night vision, and trusty combat knife, smashing open the glass door and unlocking it from the outside. As soon as we leave the locked room, our radio blares on, with a woman named Crow on the other end. Seems like we're not going to be entirely alone for this mission.
TOC in Sugar Grove. To any surviving entry teams in Area 12, we've got additional FBI and law enforcement on their way to the site.
We also find out that we're a part of the UIU, an FBI branch in the SCP universe focused on monitoring any possible anomalous activity, though thanks to the US government, they don't have the funding to do much. It seems that even though Crow is with us, none of our fellow comrades in the entry team survived their entry to Area 12, as I can't find anyone that I would call friend. Quite the opposite, actually, as I found multiple SCP Foundation guard corpses, along with the bodies of one of our agents that assumedly entered Area 12 earlier than I did. It went down swinging, though, because the 3 Foundation personnel that we passed were most likely killed by that guy, seeing as they were so close to each other. I began walking around, attempting to find my way through this maze of hallways and doors, and I'm not gonna lie, it's confusing to walk through here either for your first time or coming back playing this game again. It's kinda hard to figure out where things are whenever you've been away for a while. Eventually I do find my way to a larger, more important room, one that's barricaded with desks and cabinets, requiring me to crawl under them to get through. I hear something banging above me in the vents, which admittedly caused me to pause and contemplate my life choices. On the right end of the room, there's an open door I decide to walk through. It's quite cluttered with pallets covered in plastic wrap, but it works to funnel your vision to the end of the hall, where a creature runs past you for a split second. It wasn't a good look, but it was 4-legged, moved fast, and made a loud clicking sound. Immediately, we know we're not alone, and we need ammo desperately. Hey, Afra Interactive, we may have a bit more of a problem. Like, there may be another SCP I need to worry about. That's not good. What? These doors got knocked off. How? What? Let's just open this. It would be so cool if we could, like, actually pick up the phone. Because if you guys haven't played this game or haven't seen gameplay of it from Operative, great channel by the way, you should go check him out. This phone has been ringing for multiple updates. Shut up over there! I don't even know what. Shut up. But it'd be really cool if we could pick up that phone sometime. I vault over the broken wall on the opposite end of the room, astounded that I can actually do that. Nice, you can actually vault jump it now. Thank God, because before, like, you can vault this way, but you can't vault... Wait, what? You can? Wow, that's new. I didn't know you could vault over it like that. Because before, you would just jump, and you couldn't get over this. I guess it's just a very specific trigger. Falling into a room with a couple of dead Foundation guards and live feeds for company. These cameras are looking at something everyone will know, regardless if you're an SCP fan or not. SCP-173, the Sculpture. It's standing in a double-shuttered room, and while I would love to keep it there, we really need to go where it's standing to enter Area 12. With a reluctant pull of the shutter override, I watch the cameras, greeted by the painful reminder of my actions. A massive stone being dragged across the floor somewhere in this mess of offices. I now had to deal with a weeping angel, something I really wasn't looking forward to. When I check the rest of the room and ensure nothing else is here, I move on, heading down the only available hallway that isn't back into the maze I was in before, which is now populated by a creature that will kill me instantly. The moment I step in, I hear a cracking sound, almost as if it's like wood splintering. As I get closer, I see I'm not mistaken, and that a wooden door stands alone at the end of a concrete hallway. It's out of place. It shouldn't be in a facility where every other door is metal or reinforced in some way. While nothing happens other than cracking as I walk past it twice, I do not want to find out what the hell that thing is. If it's hiding behind a door, who knows what could be pressing against the wood. I walk out for my relative safety and look for the creature, hearing a couple of movements to my right and staring right at the Sculpture. I shimmy past the blockade and try and find a way forward, though with my back turned to everything else, I'm finding it quite difficult. This is how you need to deal with SCP-173 if you're alone, And sadly, our UIU operative doesn't have the same sleight of hand as D9341 from SCP Containment Breach, with us needing to look directly at interactables in order to progress. The moment I look away to assess my situation, though, it snaps forward like a bolt of lightning, appearing right in front of me, only a few feet away. Oh my god! Oh! Oh! That was 2 moves. Oh! Jesus Christ! While I navigate these hallways and find my way to the shutters, I notice that a glass pane is broken open, an opportunity that I wasn't going to waste. I make my way through and feel my heart sink as it appears right behind me again, a couple strides away from snapping my neck. If it could breathe, I could probably feel its breath on my shoulder. These hallways appear in even more disrepair than the ones before, with a vent hidden in the corner my only way to continue. Vent crawling is common and pretty well done, with night vision or a flashlight required at most times, and it builds up some pretty good tension. I always wonder if something will chase me through these vents, though I haven't encountered that. Yet. A careful look at the floor below me and watching the resonator right beside me not move after smashing it a couple of times causes me to drop down, looking over at the nearby tables before finding... Oh my god. Is that a Beretta? Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. Oh, and you have ammo. Oh... About to solo this entire facility. Now we're in business, and with my favorite pistol of all time in my hands, I grab more ammo, override the last shutter, and shoot off the walk to the door. This is where we're introduced to the Infector, a basic zombie type that fills most of the game's hordes. They die in one shot to the head with most calibers, and actually probably all calibers, and absorb lead to anywhere but the head, though in most circumstances they aren't too hard to take care of, if you're properly prepared. They'll also get back up if you don't headshot them, so I always give a good double tap if I know I didn't kill it with a headshot. I exit the newly opened hallway thanks to the infectors and enter a storage room, SCP security hanging from the ceiling in several states of mutilation. I'm not entirely sure who hung these bodies up, but I do know that these zombies have been feeding on them for some sort of sustenance if they even need it. There's no way that they just rot like that and they have all their clothes on their bodies still. Now that I have a loaded pistol, I confidently walk through the halls, making my way back to the shutters and keeping 173 at bay, almost dying again. Once we walk through the shutters, Crow snaps in, letting us know about how the UIU came to know about Area-12 in the first place.
When we received the leak from the whistleblower about a potential containment breach at Area-12, it apparently started small, but quickly spiraled into this multi-spectrum class event. There's something called a green-white echo lockdown in place, which means only manual overrides can operate a lot of the doors. Get used to it, Agent. These people compartmentalize everything.
While listening about how this poor chap here got his neck snapped around 180 degrees like an owl, I almost suffered the same fate. Another jolt of fear going through me as I keep moving backwards. I love 173. I get 173 to stay in place and notice that its head actually tracks my movements, though my interest is quickly broken with Crow telling me to quickly run the fuck away from it.
A statue? Shit. Back away, Agent. You need to get out of there. The Foundation calls that thing 173. The UIU's had a few run-ins with it, but it's not supposed to be here. Area-12 is supposed to be a biological research facility. You're lucky to be alive.
Another one of those four-legged resonators is apparently scared of my Beretta with 1.5 magazines as it jumps into another vent. Once we crouch down to the vent system and somehow don't break our ankles from the 2 or 3 10-foot falls, we get glimpses of a large shipping area that's on fire. As we exit this vent duct at our new destination, we begin the process of learning our first major area, one that we'll come to love and hate: logistics.
Don't look at that too long. The Foundation has all kinds of containment procedures that we barely understand. This could be one of them. It could be dangerous, possibly a cognito hazard that could affect your mind. Let me know if you see any more of these.
Headshot.
We're still trying to get the layout of Area 12, but if this is logistics, you should be able to make your way to the parking tunnel, which leads to reception.
Welcome to Logistics, Agent. Let's get past this hurdle to gain further access into Area 12. After officially making our way into logistics, we quickly realized that we've only taken our first step into this journey. The only available way further inside the facility is absolutely infested with SCP-3199, known as a Human's Refuted. These disgusting chickens are pretty strong at anything that isn't a shotgun blast, taking multiple bullets and sometimes even a magazine if shot in thicker areas. Our final escape from them shows us that the Foundation were in the process of shipping these creatures out across the world, even having soft locks on the ship containers as they all bust out as the elevator crushes their screaming children. Luckily, they only appear as the elevator reaches the ground, letting me keep all my ammo and escaping. This lets us get our first real showcase of logistics, a massive cargo and transportation area which is the lifeblood of the Foundation's facilities. Without logistics you can't operate, and with the amount of cargo and maintenance demanding tasks in the area, that's very apparent. We need to go to plumbing to be able to activate the fire suppression system, giving us access to the rest of the facility. Thankfully it won't all be boring, as we have plenty of infectors and environmental puzzles to keep us busy while we work our way through.
Good job. Get going before something else blows up.
Now that we won't burn our ass off plugging through that blazing fire, we're able to move forward after being assaulted by Foundation and its entities. The fire being extinguished helped them escape too, and now they can start to continue their original goals. Too bad their own entities don't care who's in front of them, attacking them by distracting their guns so I can sneak behind and pick them off one by one. Once that's finished, I walk through, killing a couple more chickens and arriving in the transportation tunnels connecting to the garage. This one is quite small, though it's littered with vehicles and other debris, leading to a massive door, which locks off the tunnel from a major road. This road is flooded with cars, dead bodies, entities, and Foundation personnel, and I stand back as they attack each other. Hey, no point in getting involved when the worst I could do is make all of them attack me. Once the two forces finish attacking each other, I peek my head up, being greeted by the gunfire of Foundation guards and quickly dispatching the threat. A security checkpoint gives me ammo and supplies, allowing me to open the shutters and enter a large underground parking garage with a Foundation siege going on. They're guarded by a bunch of large sandboxes, sandbags, with floodlights blinding us and at least 20 Foundation guards keeping watch. Time to get our hands a little bit dirty. Once I eliminate all of the Foundation guards protecting this area, I walk down to the tunnels and find a small office station, entering it and grabbing a Draco AK. Now we're talking. I've got some good firepower now. Gonna need it too, as our next area is quite possibly one of the hardest things in this entire game to do solo. The pressure valve escape zone. And that's at least what I'm calling it. This zone is extremely hard solo and is definitely made for a co-op experience. But there are 4 valves that are shooting out flammable gases blocking your escape. You can't just turn them off either, as the pressure is too high and will result in an explosion. You need to press a button in the center of the area, wait for the system to relieve some of the pressure, and then turn the valve. Do this 4 times and somehow not die solo, and you've got my respect. It's possible, but if you're like me, you'll die a couple of times and maybe even have to restart from a checkpoint. And we're not done just yet. We need to hold our ground as the infectors and resonators are flooding in to try and kill us before the roof collapses into the one entry point we just went through. This can be hard, but the Foundation thankfully left behind multiple ammo cans and health pickups, letting us fend them off without too much trouble. We're now able to enter a small interlude, a reception area that was used to either take care of those who are injured or infect test subjects and keep them here until the time was right. Either way, we need to get through. This zone is a nice breather after everything we've done before, with the only real threat being a door squid that puts itself in a very troublesome spot. With enough maneuvering, though, we can get around it, take the information we need, and get back, going down a staircase and finally accessing our first armory. Armories are a sight for sore eyes in this game, as there are only a couple. Armories have extremely good rewards and items, with guns on the racks, ammo all around, and the best attraction being the modification station. Here's where you can put all sorts of attachments on your guns, from ACOGs and suppressors to canted sights and vertical grips. This is the most freedom you have in the game currently, and honestly it's really well done. I hope they add more attachments in the future, such as different magazine sizes, more barrel and underbarrel attachments, and maybe even some stocks, which could impact your mobility or stability. Any skeleton stock or no stock enjoyers? I'm looking for people to block, I don't trust you. After we get the right gun loadout, I open the security checkpoint, giving us access forward and into the gas lines. Power throughout the site is low thanks to the natural gas lines being turned off, and we need to turn them on for more access into Area 12. This isn't as easy as it may seem, as 173 is back to torment us once again. There's also more of it, as a second 173 appears in the packaging area. We didn't even know that was possible, however in data entries we find out that the Foundation was experimenting and succeeded in creating copies of SCP-173-B. However, thanks to our experience with 173 in the entry zone, we make quick work of this, turning on all 3 gas lines and making our way down to the next area, water treatment. In water treatment, we find ourselves in a surprisingly clean location. There's no dirt, flesh, blood, bodies, or even a fly in this entire massive room. All we have are the sounds of our boots on concrete and metal, along with the nice visuals of illuminated water tanks projecting a blue light filling the room. It's dead silent in here, building up some good tension compared to the loud, zombie-filled, bullet-ridden hallways of logistics. I make my way towards an operation room, pressing a button and opening the floodgates. The shuttered doors raise open, the sound of shifting pulleys being drowned out with growls, screams, and clicks. We're introduced to the Surgeon Crabs, SCP-098, which can take a lot of bullets to kill, sometimes needing more than an entire magazine of 5.56. They do a lot of damage too, taking off one whole chunk of health with a jump attack. To me, they're one of the most dangerous entities if you don't know they're there, and even if they are there, they move around so erratically that you may end up wasting a couple of bullets that you could have put in their shells. And, you know, as a little tidbit here in recording, we like to call them the Crustacean Nation around here. Thankfully though, I'm a skilled operative, cleaning out the horde quickly and finding my way further inside. The clean halls of water treatment are quickly replaced with plants and overgrowth, which is our introduction to SCP-1262, known as the Seed of Destruction. They're plant-based entities that are able to grow at a rapid rate, 0.22 meters per second, and can regenerate rapidly, meaning we can only stave them off instead of killing them outright. Thankfully for us, we don't need to worry about that, since we run through the halls and get behind cover faster than they can shoot back. Foundation guards try to kill me, even sending an entire squad. However, their AI currently isn't the best, which is a subject I hope they improve upon more in the future. While the Foundation is meant to be one of your greatest threats, right now they feel extremely polarizing. They can either be extremely good at killing you, eliminating you in only a couple of shots, and even headshotting you sometimes if they see you, or they can be the stupidest people you've ever seen, standing around and not shooting or missing you entirely. I interpret this difference of oppression as chances to be able to fight back. However, I recommend that after I push players to use the environment more. There are so many environmental obstacles and cover that you can hide behind, and you even have a mechanic for peeking over short walls to take pot shots and snap back down. If the AI were more accurate, I think that'd make the Foundation much more terrifying, as I currently don't see them as much of a threat. I think they mentioned difficulties for the game in the future, and if so, I'll make an update video way later whenever the game is in a much more finished state. Our final area, that being a catwalk and logistics hallway leading to the common area, is populated by Foundation security, hiding behind every corner possible. We stock up on as much ammo as we can, taking our fancy from a large selection of guns, and taking the cargo elevator up, entering the firefight and clearing the way. Our last remaining area has another modification station, which is standing near a door that leads us into the check-in room for the common area, our starting location of Chapter 2. As Chapter 1, Piercing the Veil, is the largest swath of content in the game, I wanted to give my thoughts on the chapter as a whole at the end, which I'll probably do for the other chapters as well. Currently, I think this is the best introduction to the game, as it has everything you would want in an SCP game and some good curveballs that I personally enjoy. You're playing as the UIU, which to me is a massive leap for narrative storytelling in the plot. From the SCP games I've played and seen before 5K, and even after 5K sometimes, you play as either a Class D personnel or Foundation Mobile Task Force agent, and as such, seeing another group of interest such as the UIU is extremely satisfying and heartwarming. This is mainly due to SCP 5000 and Tanhoney's writing, which I have to commend them for. Thanks to this masterpiece in storytelling, after I took the leap and put us in the boots of another GOI instead of sticking to the mold and keeping us within the confines of the Foundation, because that was the safe option. After I could have had us in the shoes of the Foundation, dispensing the destruction and committing heinous acts of violence against Earth and humanity. It would have been hard to pull off due to 5000's writing, but I say it's the safe option because everyone knows the Foundation and everyone is familiar with it. Making a Foundation-centered game would be extremely easy, and will require much less time, as you'd be able to take multiple references from other Foundation games and do your best to make yourself different. I also like that they gave us the perspective from the UIU, as even in SCP-5000, the UIU isn't brought up at all. I went through and read it again, and there isn't a single reference to the UIU that I could find. The story is mainly told from the Global Occult Coalition's perspective, as they create the bastion known as Ganzir and try to fight against the Foundation with the help of the Church, the Broken God, and other groups of interests that aren't mentioned. Choosing the UIU is a choice that I just can't get over loving, as at this point Afray is going completely independent with what they're writing. In terms of gameplay, the only part that I don't enjoy the most is logistics. However, that's due to me playing this game for so many times and for over 3 years. Logistics used to be the only zone within the game for quite some time, with the entry zone coming around 0.14 or 0.15, which I can't remember which one of the two it came out in. Logistics is also taking out some parts that I loved, with the biggest one being a garage/car maintenance section that had Foundation guards across the way and your vision suppressed by sprinklers. I adored this part, as I liked how you could go in from multiple different avenues or just rush in and try and open the door as fast as possible. This has to be the worst decision Afray has made, as I still believe that it could fit in the story and environment of logistics. If you have your main hub with dozens of trucks, a maintenance station would be a logical choice, as it's right there and can be on-the-spot repairs you might not be able to receive until you get to a maintenance hub. All in all, Piercing the Veil is an outstanding opening chapter, and to me is the best hook you can give a new player. If you like Chapter 1 from what you've seen of this gameplay footage, you'll enjoy the rest of the game without a doubt, and I suggest you stop the video here and pick up the game for yourself. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching episode 1 of 3 of the SCP-5K trilogy. As I'm recording this, I made the decision to split this into 3 parts, because tomorrow I go in to get my wisdom tooth removed, and I'm not going to have the ability to edit and do really much of anything regarding this series. So I'm cutting episode 1 here because chapter 1 was extraordinarily long. There was so much footage to do for chapter 1 that I just didn't want to put chapter 2 and 3 in the same video. So you'll get chapter 1 as episode 1, then you'll get chapter 2 and 3 in episode 2, because those ones are much shorter. And you'll have Antarctica, the raid on Axiom, and the firing range in episode 3. So thank you for watching, and I hope you stick around for the other episodes as they'll come out in the month. This is Navy 24, signing out.